Hey guys, Toast here. Today I want to talk a bit about the Conquest scoring system from both Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1, how they differ, which one I personally prefer, and why. In an effort to keep this video accessible and not make it too statistically complex, I'm not going to go very deep into the actual score intervals and timings themselves, and will focus more on discussing the differences in mechanics and how those impact the way in which the games play out. Let's start with Battlefield 4 since this is the first of the two iterations that we're discussing to be released. Battlefield 4's Conquest system employed what is commonly referred to as the ticket bleed mechanic. Instead of the score starting at 0 and working up to 1,000, Battlefield 4's Conquest matches started off both teams with the same number of tickets relative to the team sizes in the games, though this could be altered in custom servers. The objective was to drain the enemy team's tickets to 0, and the first team to hit 0 tickets lost the round. For any time that one team held the majority of the capture points, the other team's tickets would start to decrease automatically. This would begin to occur as soon as one team owned more than half of the capture points on any given map, whether it be 3 flags on a 5 flag map or 4 flags on a 6 or 7 flag map. The larger the gap between the number of flags that Team A holds over Team B, the faster Team B's tickets will bleed until Team B has captured enough flags to either have the same amount as Team A or more than half the flags captured themselves. Now to add to this, there were also tickets deducted when your teammates were killed, however the ticket was not actually deducted until the person who was killed had respawned. These were the two ways in which tickets could be deducted from either team, and ultimately allowed for an ebb and flow of which team was in the lead at any point, as well as an often faster ending to a game that was blatantly one-sided. Now let's discuss the Conquest scoring system in Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 did away with the ticket system from Battlefield 4 and previous iterations of the series in favor of a score system. Both teams start at 0 points at the beginning of the round, and each team tries to be the first to get 1,000 points. Unlike Battlefield 4, where only the team who had the majority of the points drained tickets from the other team automatically, both teams gain points for any flags that they hold. Regardless of whether a team holds 1 flag or 7, they'll get points added to their overall score. The more flags that a team holds, the faster they'll receive points, but as long as each team holds at least 1 flag, they'll be gaining points on both sides, albeit at different speeds. Similar to the Battlefield 4 system, points are also gained by the enemy team when you or your teammates are killed, however again in a similar fashion, the points are not awarded until the person who's been killed is respawned. Again, there are two ways in which teams can gain points, however the system makes for less frequent changing of places of the winning and losing team, and more prolonged games even when there's a distinct advantage on one team. Given this information about the two systems, let's create a scenario. Team Toast is losing a Battlefield 4 Conquest game with 25 tickets left against Team Bread, who has 150 tickets left. Team Toast has just captured 3 objectives on a 5-objective map, which means that Team Bread is now passively bleeding tickets from the objective. This means that if Team Toast is very coordinated, plays smart, limits their deaths and their respawns, they have the ability to come back and win the game. Now let's visit essentially that same scenario in Battlefield 1. We're in Conquest and Team Toast has a score of 850 while Team Bread has a score of 975, which would place them both essentially in the same situation as Battlefield 4. Team Toast has just captured 3 objectives on a 5-objective map, which means that Team Bread is still gaining points from the 2 flags that they currently hold. In this scenario, even if Team Toast plays very smart and doesn't have any deaths, Team Bread is still going to win because there simply isn't enough time for Team Toast to make up the difference. Thanks to a post from Reddit user Zoppler who did some testing of the system back in February, which I'll link in the description below, and without going into the actual calculations behind it, though I'm sure you could all easily figure it out, it would take Team Bread only about a minute and a half to get to 1,000 score with 2 flags held if no kills were made, where it would take Team Toast nearly 7 minutes to get to 1,000 score with 3 flags held. Team Toast would either need to have all 5 flags captured for the remainder of the game, or somehow get over 100 kills in that 90-second period in order to have a chance to win the game at that point. Now all of this is just to illustrate the difference in systems between the two games. That isn't to say that one system is definitively or objectively better than the other, just that they employ different methods to get to an end result. I personally prefer the Battlefield 4 system for the exact reason that I highlighted in the scenario that I gave. In Battlefield 4, comebacks were capable of happening often. If the losing team got their act together, really made some smart plays, and coordinated their efforts toward the end of the round, they had a real possibility of being able to bring the game back, and if not win it, at least make for a real fight in the end. In Battlefield 1, once you get past a certain threshold of difference in scores, it becomes essentially impossible for a comeback to happen even if you begin to really dominate the opposing team. This also often means that if one team does particularly well at the start of the round, it's going to be essentially a losing battle for the other team for the rest of the game. This ends up highlighting issues where servers don't get filled up quickly enough at the beginning of the game, giving one team an advantage right from the start, which with the Battlefield 4 system wouldn't have as big an impact on the overall game, but with the Battlefield 1 system ends up putting the already losing team in a very disadvantageous position with little likelihood of a good comeback. That isn't to say that comebacks can't happen in Battlefield 1, they can and do, but there are fewer circumstances under which comebacks are possible. Behemoths also play a role in this, but that's a topic that I feel is worth dedicating a separate video to. Now I want to know how you feel about the two different scoring systems. Which do you prefer and why? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more content, please subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, this is Toast, and I'll talk to you soon.